So I am going to be asking you questions. Have you ever been on a phone call and all of a sudden you're calling someone and all of a sudden, like, you know, you didn't even realize it got cut off and you've been speaking to yourself, by yourself, with yourself for like 15, 20 minutes? Has ever happened to you? Not 15, 20 minutes, but at least 5 minutes. Well, that's happened to me a few times. I don't want that to happen on a webinar. It's never happened on a webinar because I ask lots of questions. So please make sure that you're engaging. Ask me questions. If I can't answer you then at this moment, I will ask you specifically. Now, some of you may or may not know, but obviously, you know, I am the founder of The Best You. I've been in the personal development business now for 12, 15 years. But I've got a background as an entrepreneur for 35 years. I started originally in real estate, but I got into personal development from a long time ago. Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy. I learned from all the best. I read all the best many years ago. But it was NLP that really got me onto kind of what I'm doing now. So I became a promoter of personal professional growth, and that's kind of what's positioned me to where I am today. Is that I've been, you know, running these big events for quite some time. I've got two brands, The Best You and NLP Life Training. Some of you might know me from NLP Life Training. Some of you might know me from The Best You. But that's pretty much, those are my two brands. I've been right now, and there's a bit more information about the expos. But, you know, kind of I consider myself an entrepreneur. And I've written my book, my latest book. I've self-published 3 books, but this is a book that was published by Wiley's last year, called The Question, Find Your True Purpose, which I think is really current. So I think one of the questions I asked you, if you've actually read my book, not that it makes a difference, but, you know, it does help me understand a little bit more if you guys have kind of like, you know, read my story. So I've got quite a few of you beginners in personal development. Yes and no. Okay. 1% of you, only 9% is transitioning. Have you done much training? Yes, no, some. You consider yourself a pro, half and half, 50% no. Has conflict affected you? 50% say yes, 33% no, no difference. I love that. Do you have a coach? Yes, okay, no, 58% doesn't. And then do you have a mentor? 58% have a mentor, 42% no. Congratulations, those of you who have a mentor. Do you have a need to reinvent yourself? 67%, great, that helps me understand. Have you read my book? 83% of you said no. Oh my God, that's just terrible and appalling. Well, look, my book is available on Amazon. I'm not saying because I think it is really current, because one of the things I cover in my book is around resilience. I talk about reinvention. I talk about revolution, change. So these are things that are very current right now. But anyway, as I said, I'm the founder of The Best You. I'm the chief inspirational officer of The Best You. And with The Best You, what I've managed to do is I've managed to build all these different brands. You know, all these different brands okay, Barbie, well, please send me an email to info@thebestyou.co. And okay, you were coming to the Best You Expo. That we'll send you the book, Barbie. Thank you so much for letting me know. So with The Best You, what I've done is info@thebestyou.co. That is Barbie. So basically, I've done with The Best You, I've created multiple different brands, and a lot of them have been in development recently. A lot of them have been developed over the years. And I really highly recommend that if you're interested in personal and professional growth, join me tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be sharing about how a lot of the things that we've done in the past, things that we're doing now, can help you, and you should take advantage. And I'll talk about that a little bit now. But anyway, I've got the Best You Expo. We've got the Best You TV, which is launching in a month time. Very excited about that. Best You magazine, been around for 5 years. The Best You store, we just launched it literally a month ago. We've got the international expos, which there's some really exciting news coming about that. The Best You Online, which has been live for quite some time. We're really pushing it at the moment. The Best You Legacy Clubs, which is kind of our take on a personal development network. And then the Best You app, which is the way that we're going to be connecting and building the largest network of personal and professional growth. And the Best Youth, which is a division that we want to create moving forward in the future. So that is kind of very exciting. That those are all the different things that we've got in the brand. Okay. So apart from that, well, you know, I've promoted more than 700 speakers. I've had 5 expos, 5 in London, 1 in LA. More than 70,000 people have attended. And I said I've promoted around 700 speakers. So I've got quite a lot of expertise when it comes down to running events and promoting events. So obviously it has an impact on me, because all of a sudden there's not any live events going on, as we know. So, you know, it's been a bit of a eye opener for us, but luckily I'm a great believer that out of every university, as Napoleon Hill says, becomes an equal or greater opportunity. And I think this is an extremely exciting time for everyone and for us. And I get it, that can be scary for some people, but I think it's extremely exciting. So before we start, what I wanted to do is I don't have all the answers, okay? But I have massive experience, and yes, I am older. So, you know, I'm wiser because I've been around for a little bit longer. So my first thing is how are you all, and how are you guys getting on? So I'd like you to tell me, you know, kind of, I know I've asked some questions in the survey, but how are you getting on, you know, and how are you finding the times that we have right now? Is this something that you're finding a bit challenging? Are you finding it exciting, like in a way I am, or is it something that you think has been great in general? So I'd love to hear more thoughts about that. As I said, I know I've asked some questions on that, but please feel free to comment anything on the chat. You love this new world, Tony. So do I. Thank you. And I think it's an extremely exciting time and opportunity, as I said. Apart from that, well, the first thing is that the personal development industry, I think some of you may or may not know, and I know we've got a balance here of 50-50, but the personal development industry, more than 80% of the people that have a skill to really help people. And I've experienced this many times. Unfortunately, you know, they will struggle to earn a decent living. I've seen this many times. And I've also seen a lot of people struggling now within the personal development world, coaches, trainers, therapists, marketers, because they just can't make any revenue. One, because they can't speak at live events. Two, because they haven't got the revenue streams coming in. They haven't diversified well enough, or because they're depending very much on personal professional growth to bring them in the revenue. And obviously, I've seen this again and again and again and again. And it is it's very frustrating, and it's also very concerning that people that dedicate their time to helping others are really struggling to create revenue. And that's kind of where I think us coaches, trainers, people that are in the personal development industry, we need to be very congruent with what we do and what we say. And a lot of people aren't necessarily that. So a couple of comments here. That Mazin says, excited to know new things, explore new possibilities. I agree so too. Opportunity to drive change. Steve, absolutely, I agree with that. Charles says it's been great. And so I think that there's a lot of people here that think that this is a good opportunity. But as I said, I've struggled to see a lot of people within the industry that are struggling to stand out and to really make a living and to walk their talk, because, you know, they're coaching their clients and customers for them to become the best version of themselves, for them to welcome change, for them to reinvent themselves, and then they don't necessarily do it. So that's one of the things that I've found with this. Sadly, most coaches, experts, trainers will never achieve real success. And again, that's one of the things that I hope with the Best You and kind of with what I do is we can really help people, you know, rise to the top and really make a difference. So that's what I've been focusing on. And even though they are amazing at what they do, you know, they're struggling. And why? Well, the reason is that, as what I've seen over the last 10, 11 years, that they make the same mistakes. You know, they don't partner, they want to do things on their own. They're not really current. They're not exploring new technology. They're not really interested in learning new things, and they're trying to do things the old way because that's what they know. And as we know, the world has a way of throwing things at you that all of a sudden, boom, you know, your reality is out of focus and out of perspective straight away. So that's one of the things that I've seen many times, and it's because, you know, people aren't necessarily adapted. Now, I did a survey recently, and the survey was, you know, what are you struggling with? And a lot of the times people are struggling with lack of clarity. Okay, I get that. This was on the top of the list. Lack of marketing experience. People that want to expand, grow individually or professionally, they're struggling to attract new clients consistently. A lot of people struggle with mindset. You know, they might talk a good talk, but then unfortunately they haven't got that strong mindset that they need. They're great at giving advice to other people, but not for themselves. You know, I'm not sure if that is hitting home anyway. A lot of people don't have a platform. A lot of people self-sabotage. You know, kind of like, you know, why me? Oh, why are people going to buy into me? No one's going to buy into me. You know, kind of that kind of idea. And then the other thing is they're no support. They're trying to make it alone, and that's one of the things I really find it fascinating. It is so much easier when you work with someone. So much easier when you build alliances and strengths, and that's why for example, the expo succeeded. We've had 14,000 people show up in London because we had 150 speakers, and, you know, everyone was promoting and pushing the same thing. And when we're all trying to do our own thing, it's just very difficult. And this is, but I do believe that the number one thing I think is diversifying. I think a lot of people, either in business or in personal development, they're not diversifying quickly enough. They're still doing the same things that they were, and they're expecting different results. I don't know if it was Einstein that said that. Anyone want to comment on anything? I'm just going to read a few notes here from people. So please, any comments, please put them in. Robert says the business has been great for you. Great, I'm really happy, Robert, and I'd love to know more. What is it you're doing, please? Barbie, don't you think there will be more need to people to up level with coaching? Absolutely, I think so. I think one of the things that my concern is a lot of the people in power and government aren't really understanding the consequences of what's happening with keeping people at home and pushing people to the limits. So I really believe that this whole personal professional growth well-being industry will explode. I think we're in a very exciting future, but there's still going to be the present, the now, the near future until we expand into the new future. But there's going to be a lot of people that will definitely need help. So that's why I'm thinking, if you are thinking of maybe either diversifying or really building your brand or growing your brand, this is a time to step forward. Okay, someone's saying, can you turn up the volume? But struggle to hear me. Okay, thank you, Tony. So please tell me if you can't hear me, tell me, but I will speak a little bit louder. I do have the microphone quite close to me. So diversifying, this is one of the key things that I think people are underestimating now, how important it is. This is where people are starting to realize. So if you have a restaurant and all you had was food, and okay, maybe you can do a takeaway now, but if all you did was coach and you haven't got clients to coach, if all you did was speak and you didn't have a place to speak. So diversifying has been really, really important. That's one of the things that I've been really focusing on recently is looking at diversifying and really exploring what the new trends are. I've spent so much time reading in new trends. You have to be proactive, you have to be creative, and you have to be looking at new ways of generating revenue. So what are the new trends? And we're going to be exploring some of those things here today, okay? And there's going to be a couple of disclaimers coming to you soon. Learning new things. This is a time, I keep saying, I've seen a lot of people, well, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot is that there's a lot of people out there now, and I've been saying in some of my previous posts that there's been a lot of noise. Everyone is trying to put posts out and Instagram and do a Zoom and do all this, but there's too much noise. And I think a lot of people haven't necessarily, unfortunately, I don't think they spend enough time learning. So this is a time for learning. I've spent a lot of time learning many new things. And some of the new things I'm going to be sharing here today are things that I've learned relatively recently, some of them, okay? So Barbie's saying that she's been helping clients manifest money. And someone says it manifested around $67,000, 3%, 30-year through an SBA. Well, that sounds brilliant, Barbie. I would like to manifest that myself. So thank you. But the whole idea is about learning new trends. And one of the things that I found this chart, which is, you know what you know what you don't know, but what you don't know that you don't know is what, 80%? And that's the thing. So we know very little. We know that what we don't know, but there's so much things that we don't know. So this is the whole idea of trying to keep our perspective open and exploring new things, and or work to learn with those that do know. So either you learn it or you go and partner up with people that do know or people that have the answers. That's the bottom line. I think that's one of the things that we're missing. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mikey, sorry. Thank you for being a big or small moment to speak to you. I had the opportunity to attend the Los Angeles conference. That was a couple of years ago. I had so many people say so many nice things about that conference. I've chatted with you, the Kiss the Monkeys. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, I remember. Okay, and other motivational industry events. You spoil all, I guess. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mikey. And then Robert agreed, too much noise, that there's too many people out there. I completely agree with that. So the idea is that either you learn new things or you have to partner up with people now that know new things. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to be sharing a lot around this. Again, I'm really, really excited about some of the stuff we're going to be talking about today. So what I've been doing, So what you should be learning. These are kind of the things that I think you should be learning. And it's learning to learn. I think what I find fascinating, a lot of people in the personal development industry say, you got to learn, you got to be open to change, you got to welcome change, you're going to be exploring new things that you can do. And then guess what? They don't do it. They don't necessarily learn themselves. They spend their times trying to market and bring new customers in without having learned or having adapting to the new times. So what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of learning, and I've been doing a lot of learning quickly. I think a lot of us will probably agree that we've spent so many hours now. I seem to be working a lot more hours than ever. And I always work a lot of hours. So I've been learning a lot. And obviously, as Charles Darwin said, it's not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent that survives. It's the most adaptable to change. So this is a time when you have to adapt to change very, very, very quickly. And that's kind of what I've been doing. So a quick disclaimer here, the question before I continue. So what I want to say is I am not a financial expert, okay? I have no degrees in finance. I have no financial expertise. I'm going to be sharing things that I've been reviewing and things that I've been exploring, and ideas for you to maybe start looking into, either for now or for the future. But I think if I wouldn't consider myself, look, I want to become the best coach, the best mentor possible. And the only way I can do that is by becoming as knowledgeable as possible and becoming as experienced as possible and sharing my expertise. So what I'm going to be sharing here today is a lot of things that I've been learning either recently, and I'm not talking these last couple of months, this last year, 2 years, but a lot of them are very recently. I've been reading a lot. So I'm no professional expert. I'm not advising you to subscribe to any of these things. I'm not just recommending you to trade in any of these things. I'm just simply giving you a little bit of information. So that quick disclaimer out the way. Number one, new financial trends. So this is the number one. We're going for three, but there's a lot more than three, but let's start with number one. The new financial trends. Where is the economy going? And look, I'm going to share some of the places, newsletters that I've subscribed to. And I'm subscribing to so many different reports where, about this and about that. And I'm subscribing to so many because I want to read. And some of them cost $49, some of them cost $29, some of them $79, but I think they're worth the money. If I can learn something that can then save me a couple of years, or, not regret me not investing it at some point, I'm going to be doing it. And that's what I've been doing. So where is the economy going? So one of the things I've been doing a lot is trading. I've been really exploring more about trading, and I highly recommend. I'm not sure if it's something that you've done, but I would recommend that you look at the current trends in trading. Where is the money going? Where are the companies selling stock? Where are the companies buying stock? Which are the companies that have grown? And I'm going to give you some examples here. One of the ones is Shopify, for example, which I invested in. Shopify went from $400 to $800 pretty much in no time. It's gone up last week 7%. It's gone up 45, 50% since I started buying into it. So Shopify, they reckon, is going to be one of the companies that will compete with Amazon. That's a big say. But I'm just talking in general right now about trading. I highly recommend that you explore and understand what trading means, because you can download an app and you can put $10 in and buy some fractional shares in some companies, or you can explore in whether. But it's just great to read. I've got an app which is called Robinhood, and I can see the trends. I can see some of the companies are going up, and then that gives me the opportunity to read, about that. So obviously there's new technologies coming up. There's obviously companies, pharmaceuticals, that are going to be coming up with COVID-19 vaccines and things like that. So, understanding where the economy is going is important for you to see where you can move towards. So that's one of the things I would highly recommend, is that you explore and learn and understand by either trading or reading trading reports from professionals and subscribing to their newsletters of what the new trends are, of where companies are growing, where the companies aren't growing. And that's maybe a way where you could start diversifying, either investing money, or you can start thinking, oh, that's where the trend is going. So trading is one. Options. I'm just learning about options now, and I want to become an options trader. So I've started reading more about it. And from what I gather, although options is advised to be a lot more, it can be more dangerous as far as that you could lose more money. But options also is a secure way if you learn and understand it, because you can buy bulk amounts of shares, and it's just literally having an option on these shares. So it's like everything else. Some people saying that buying options is the safest option as far as trading. Other people saying that options isn't. Again, I'm not a professional, but I've been reading a lot more around options and the options around options. So that would be something that I would also highly recommend that you look. Thank you. Barbie's talking about plexiglass as exploding. Agree, too much noise. Okay, great, thank you. So options is something else that I've been exploring in. Gold and precious metals. Now, again, I don't know if you've been reading a lot about it, but because they're saying that, the economy's could change dramatically and we could hit into a depression. They're saying that there's a lot of money being invested in gold, and that gold could still carry on increasing. It's increased massively, and it could. And they're saying because when the economy goes, if it does go terribly bad, and there's people that are saying that it is bearish or it will be bullish, it will go up or go down. A lot of people are investing in gold. A lot of people saying they should have actually physical gold. So gold and precious metals, reading about that, where the trend goes, the more they invest in gold, the more uncertainty the economy is. Maybe you want to start putting some money in gold as well. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just advising on some of the things that I've been looking and reading. I've been reading a lot about Bitcoin. Okay. I bought some Bitcoin a little while ago. My son's bought some Bitcoin and we're really exploring it. There's some very interesting news here. So it fluctuates. It's a very, very volatile. Cryptocurrencies can be very volatile, and there's many cryptocurrencies, but obviously Bitcoin is the best well-known one. I've been reading a report, which I've just literally downloaded again. I've downloaded a new report on this. And although it's been going between $7,000 to $10,000 and up and down, it goes up and down, they're saying it could be worth 10 times that amount. I'm sure you know, I know of people that bought Bitcoin maybe $25,000, and I think maybe 6-8 years later it was worth $1 million. And I think if they kept that million, some of them took it out, if they kept that million, it would be worth 64 million. But some people saying it'd be worth 10 times that. So they're saying that Bitcoin could go up to 100,000. They're saying it could go up to $250,000 one Bitcoin. That's by 2022. Again, disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I'm asking you to read about it. And I'm saying is that if you're an expert, a coach, a trainer, a therapist, you should be advising your clients on wealth management. This is one of the things I think coaches don't necessarily do. That's what I try to do. I try to be as knowledgeable as possible. I'm also working with a firm for wealth management. So if you have any questions on this, I'd love to help you. I'm advising my customers on how they can put some money away so they've got a pension, advising them on how they can put some money away so they can have a life insurance, and how they can basically get that money from the life insurance for them to live. They don't have to wait to die. They can actually withdraw. I didn't know that. So there's some very interesting companies I'm working with wealth management. And that's the thing. The thing is, you ask someone, when do you want to retire? At what age? Oh, well, I don't know. How much do you want? I never thought about that. And these are things which are absolutely essential. I think a lot of people are finding that. I think they were saying that the average person has around $400 in the UK and the US, has around $400 in their bank account. That's it. That's all the money they have. And that's scary. And I think a lot of people are experiencing that at this moment. So look, on wealth management, there's a couple of web pages here. You can just type them if you want. www.fool.com, the empirefinancialresearch.com, and the bonnerandpartners.com, and stansburyresearch.com. Again, I am not endorsing or recommending any of them. I don't have a partnership with any of them, but these are newsletters that I'm subscribed to that I receive pretty much daily. Fool.com, empirefinancialresearch.com, bonnerandpartners.com, and stansburyresearch.com. Okay, so that's it. Any questions so far? I'm about to jump into number 2. Let me, please, if you have any questions, I want to thank all of you that are here today. We've still got a lot of material to talk about, but I just wanted to share some of my experiences as far as what I've been doing, as far as understanding where the new financial trends are for me to be able to explore and understand. Now, of course, a lot of money has gone into Zoom. Facebook are launching their own messenger, which allows you to create chat rooms. Microsoft has Team. DocuSign, these are documents for you to be able to sign online contracts and documents. The shares of these companies are going up. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that anything that is about new technology and providing people the facilities to be able to connect from home, work from home, do business from home is obviously working. And I've got a couple of other ideas I want to share with you now. Okay. So that's that. Let's get into number 2. The future is now. Number 2, the future is now. Now, I know that we're already exploring that, but again, with some of the reports that I've read is about EV, electric vehicles. Now, I'm not sure if some of you know, but obviously, they're saying that electric vehicles will increase by 700% between 2019 and 2028. That self-driven cars are a reality. I'm sure you know, and I'm not sure if you do know, but they've been doing tests where they've been doing millions and millions of miles of cars being driven, automized cars with no drivers, They've been doing tests all over the world now, pretty much, but they've done cities already where they're doing it. And the tests are there, and the future is now, as I'm saying, this is a reality. It's happening. There's some really exciting reports around the idea that we will not own cars very, very soon. And the reason we won't own a car is because it makes so much more sense to have an electrical car. And once these cars are self-driven, then there's no drivers, then who wants a car? You don't need a car, but you can just literally push the app, Uber, without a driver, off you go. And that's kind of the technology that's happening with Waymo. Google's developed a car that's self-driven, and that's going to be, although Waymo is part of Google, it should probably float on its own. So keep an eye on that stock, because that could skyrocket, and that will be extremely interesting. But they're saying that the cars of the future aren't even there yet. So kind of like, what we understand as car producers or factories or brands like Ford and General Motors, they might disappear completely. Renault, in France, they're saying they might not be able to stay around much longer. Did you know that the value of Tesla, I bought some shares in Tesla. Did you know the value of Tesla keeps going up and up and up. But did you know that the value of Tesla is 5 times the amount of Ford? And did you know it's 7 times the amount of General Motors? That's fascinating. That's a brand that came out of nowhere, which was getting so much stick from a man who's a visionary, which is obviously Elon Musk. So, these cars, the cars that will be the cars of the future, aren't even invented. That's where Waymo, Google, creating their own cars. They say Apple's going to have their own car. They're saying, because it's all technology. So investing in companies that are microchips, Nvidia or Intel, these are the companies that are either going to, those are the great sectors to be involved in. And that's the sectors which is obviously the lithium batteries or the chips that is going to be provided for these cars. That's what you want to get involved in. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been exploring and reading a lot about electrical cars. And what happens with electrical cars as well is that, people will not necessarily need, you won't need to drive your car into town anymore. Well, you won't even need to drive into town anymore, because you won't need an office anymore, because everyone's working from home. But if you did, then you don't need car parks, which means that all these car parks that are there available now, they're going to become real estate. Those offices will become real estate. The whole market is just being completely revolutionized. So either you adapt and learn quickly, or hey, you'll be part of the past. 5G. The potential of 5G is ridiculous. I think, I'm not sure how much you've read about 5G, but 5G is so much the future. It's the present, but it's also the future. They have to rebuild a complete new infrastructure. Okay, I think they were saying that the 4G was around $60 billion, and they reckon that 5G is going to be around $500 billion. So just compare the level of investment. The reason being is because it's completely new infrastructure. You need power stations all over the place for the signal for 5G. They haven't been built. They've only built like 20% of it. Also the completely new devices. And just to give you an idea, I think they were saying that, a 4-hour movie will take you, the time it will take you to download a 4-hour movie in your 5G will literally be seconds. When in a normal 4G, it could take you 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, an hour to download a movie. So, in China, they're saying that they're investing around 400 billion in the new connectivity of 5G. And then obviously the whole business of being able to engage, connect, 3D, it's just mind-boggling. So read and learn about 5G. Is this something that you can do where you can be involved in 5G? Could you apply and use 5G into what you do right now? It's a complete game changer. And obviously this brings me to kind of the next thing, which is e-commerce and the potential importance and value and growth of e-commerce. I think you've all heard of a company called Amazon. They seem to be doing okay. And it's just going to carry on growing. So I explored into Shopify, started reading about Shopify. There's lots of other e-commerce accounts, but you can open a shop with Shopify literally in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You can have it done in 1 day if you wanted, because they've got all the apps. So you've got all these suppliers. They're giving you the t-shirts, the products that you can then put in your shop front, and you've got an e-commerce. And obviously, Shopify now, apart from the growth and the value, they're actually saying could compete with Amazon, because it's the people for the people. It's not really Amazon managing and controlling everything. It's all down to us to be able to use other suppliers and other applications. And Shopify, for example, has the marketing taken care of, the banners, the advertising, the the videos, the tutorials, the testimonials that people give you, the marketing, using it for your restaurant for people to buy, to take payments. That's so easy. They've got, I think it's called PayShop, their merchant account. So exploring e-commerce and exploring how you might be able to take advantage of that to put your products and your services online, I think is absolutely essential. Please, questions, anyone? I don't want to carry on talking unless I know you're all here still. So please, any questions? Is this interesting? Is this helpful? Anyone learning anything? Yes, Charles says yes. Thank you, Charles, for engaging with me. Anything, anyone? Is Charles the only one commenting on this? Yes, Barbie saying yes, great. Okay, thank you. Still here, still learning. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, Violetta. Okay, great. So let's look then at online virtual. So the whole idea with the online virtual is that, you can literally, as we're all experiencing through Zoom, through some of the software, new programs that are out there, it's the new reality and learning this new technology. So I've spent a lot of time exploring what kind of platforms we'll be using for our virtual events, because our events will have to be virtual. And obviously what we won't necessarily be using is Zoom for the type of conferences that we do, because we want to have 100, 400, 500 speakers. So we're looking at something where you can engage. You can go to a virtual booth. I can engage with you. I can talk to you. I can chat with you. And also you can see my talk, and we can email there and then live, and I can then connect my Zoom and you can see my talk. So we're looking at that, and we're also looking at how we can reach more globally. And I'm very excited about that. So exploring what online services are out there for what you and your product is very key. So that brings me now to number 3, which is doing something new. And I think for some of us, or for some of you, doing something new is not an option, or maybe not necessary. And that's great. And I get that. But I want to also really advise you and recommend you to explore about doing something new as something that is just beautiful. It's just part of life. It's called evolving. It's called changing. It's called growing. I think a lot of times, if you want to do something that is just not there anymore, you got to learn a new trade. You got to explore how you can reinvent yourself and how you can do something. And a lot of the time, I think people struggle with what the word reinvention is, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. But you need to be open to doing something new. You need to be open to learning and practicing new things. And I'm just saying, is if some of you are in a place of despair, some of you are in a place where you're just very concerned about how you can create revenue, how you can grow individually or personally or professionally, you need to be open to doing something new. And I suggest that you adapt quickly. But what I wanted to say is that obviously what reinvention is and what it isn't. Okay, so a lot of people think that reinvention is, oh my God, I have to reinvent myself. I'm a completely new person. No, it's not. Okay, so when I was young, I was a DJ, and I used to run clubs, and I used to work in nightclubs, and I used to do parties. So my experience as running all these big parties and gatherings has helped me in my current life, which was putting everyone together in a big conference hall. So it was, I changed the night and the drinks and the alcohol to the day. But anyway, those experiences did help me. Now, does the experience help me for me to be able to market an event now that's virtually? Yeah, absolutely. So kind of we have a set of skills that are adaptable and can be usable and reusable. So reinvention isn't necessarily about a completely different you. It's about you, hopefully, with a coach and a mentor, someone that can guide you, someone that can help you, or with yourself and your friends and your loved ones, to understand and appreciate kind of what is it that you can polish, that you can change, that you can adapt, that can be packaged, that can help you then go and create the revenue that you want, that you deserve and you desire. And also, how can you leave a legacy behind? I think a lot of the times we tend to forget that we're mortal. We know we're here for a limited period of time, and we're focusing on money when really we should be focusing on how can we make a difference. And if we can make a difference, trust me, people will buy into that because they can see you, and then they will want to buy into that anyway. So that's my thoughts regarding reinvention. You're more than welcome to kind of share anything. And that's kind of what I was saying is, you have to be open for a new career if need be. So I'm just going to ask everyone with me. Anyone wants to ask anything? Any questions? I'm just going to read a couple of things here. Tony, great stuff. Thank you. Brian, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, Barbie saying that in New York Stock Exchange will be looking at CPP owners, businesses, so buying American controlled businesses like Tesla are winners. Yeah, okay. Robert says, personally, I believe in investing in people. I also used to run like Clever in 1982, when more or less the same time as me, Robert. So there's obviously an advantage of what happens if you already found something you love to do. Well, Jay Carr, so I don't know what your initial is. Jay, if you already found something that you love to do, well, congratulations. There's no need to change. I'm just saying is a lot of people have to be open to change and struggle with the idea of having a new career. I think we're at a time now that it's a real wake-up call for everyone. And I think, you know, exploring a new career is something that we might have to explore if everything else fails. I always thought, you know what, if everything fails, I could always become an Uber driver, but I don't think that's an option. That was going to be electrical cars, but maybe I can buy a car and then I can just rent my car out to Waymo or Uber, and then it can go and bring me money in at the end of the day. I don't know, but I'm just saying is we got to be happy and open to explore new things. I agree the time is now to choose really what you want to do. I think so. I think this is a time when people really are understanding the importance of what's important. And I have to say, I was talking to my team a lot of the times, and a lot of the times, you see, when I came up with the idea of the Best You Expo, people thought I was mad. You're mad. What are you doing? Well, you've never been done before. So, but then we had 3,000 people, then 6, then 12, then 14,000 people showed up. It took people a couple of years to understand it. I'm a great believer that I actually am saying to my team that I think this is a phenomenal time for us. And I'm a big believer in alliances and working with people and partnering up with people. So that's why we're really putting everything out there to work and collaborate. But I'm extremely excited about these times. But having said that, I'm also excited about my own personal journey. Bernardo as a coach, Bernardo as a mentor, Bernardo as an author and writing things. But at the end of the day, you know what? I'm quite resilient. I make some great drinks and I cook really well as well. I can always be working in a restaurant in South America in a little beach bar. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's about being alive and enjoying life. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then, hey, I think we've had a beautiful wake-up call. And this is maybe the time for you to do something else. So this brings me to the idea around alliances and about partnerships. I think, you know, a lot of the time people are trying to reinvent the wheel. Find people you can work with. Find people you can work with. Use platforms that already have hundreds of thousands of people, i.e. Shopify or, you know, Amazon or Eventbrite. I don't know. Work with people that have the platform. Work with people that have the connections. Work with people that can bring you people. You know, so it's a time for alliances and partnerships. I think if anything, we're going to come out stronger because of this, because, you know, people are willing to help and contribute with each other. I mean, you see singers now, you know, at home singing and doing concerts on Instagram or Facebook, or you see, you know, speakers that would charge me $250,000 to speak. Now they're on Instagram and they're talking all the time because they want to talk, they want to share ideas. So it's a great time to see this beautiful alliances and partnerships. And I highly recommend that you reach out to people. You'll be surprised how many people would want to be open to work with you if only you ask. I think a lot of times people are extremely concerned. Thank you, Barbie. I can't wait to see you there. Marlene, I've been an admin assistant for a while and wanting to explore being a travel agent or concierge. I love the idea of concierge anyway. I think concierge will never finish. Everyone would want to be involved in that. So the other thing is, I would, as far as doing something new, I want to recommend you and advise you TV. So we're launching the Best You TV. It's something I've had in my timeline for a long time. If anything, what's happened with this is literally I've had to put on pause, obviously, the live events, and now we're focusing very much on the virtual, which we're going to be announcing some very exciting things in the next couple of weeks. Virtual Expo is literally happening all over the world. But apart from that, I've launched the store. We've launched that in 2 weeks, and more products are being uploaded there. And I'm inviting you to contact me if you want to list your products on the store. But we're also launching the TV. So I know that at a time when everyone is online and is very busy, there's a lot of people on TV. Look at the shares on Netflix. Look at the shares of Disney. Look at the shares of Apple TV. You know, literally anything and everything that's to do with people at home watching television is essential. So we're taking the best you to the TV. And what we're offering now, what I'm exploring is about running our own TV shows and having our own sub channels and running a channel for Latinos and running a channel for empowering women. So what about you? Let me ask you, why are you thinking small? Are you thinking small? But, you know, excuse me, I might be assuming you're thinking small. I'm just saying it's think big. Go and think TV. Maybe you can get in TV. And I know, like Tony Boldy's here. Tony, you know, he does stuff in TV. And there's a lot of you that have already produced things in TV. Great. I'm saying look at that as a platform of the future, which is present. Because you see, there's so many channels out there that you could go out and reach to. So don't think small, go out there and reach. We're moving towards TV. So as far as doing something new, I'm inviting you to reinvent. I'm inviting you to explore about new careers. I'm talking to you about new alliances and partnerships. And I'm talking to you about exploring TV. Those are my ideas. And as you can see, it was more than 3 things. It was more than 33 things, or approximately 33 things. But the reason I want to share all these things is because I you know, these are the kind of things I discuss with my mentees. These are the kind of things that I coach people on, because I'm a great believer that this is it. So that's kind of what I'm exploring. And obviously I wanted to take this opportunity to just explain a little bit more about my coaching and mentoring program. Now, before I do that, what I wanted to do is I've got another poll here, because I did have 2 polls, and I know you've completed it. I want to thank you all that have completed that poll. Thank you. I will share the results. Yes, I am. Why not? And there you go. You can see the results. That's, are you a beginner in personal development? No, 65%. That was the winner. Are you transitioning? Yes, 41%. Third, 59% consider yourselves a pro. And then 47% have been affected by COVID. 65% have a coach. Great. I'm very happy, very proud of you there. 53% of you have a mentor. Don't have a mentor. Okay. And then do you ever need to reinvent yourself? 71%. Okay, great. And then it's 88% have read my book. Have you read my book? No, sorry, 88% of you haven't read my book. Sorry, remember, that was very depressing and sad for me. Anyway, I hope you do sign up. My pleasure, Tony Boldy. So now I'm going to share another poll before I continue. No, I'm not. I'm going to finish this and then I'll share the poll. There you go. I changed my plan. I've reinvented my thought process. So the reason I wanted to share these things is because these are the kind of things I think are really important as a coach and a mentor. Coach and a mentor should be pushing you and giving you and throwing ideas at you permanently, constantly. And if you haven't got one, find one. And if you want one, well, look, I'm available and I'm interested in working with people. And that's what I'm doing with the Rise to the Top. So the Rise to the Top is a program that I was launching at the Best You Expo. So I've just literally delayed it a little bit. And this is what I've experienced, is that a lot of people, you know, and these are my very, very quick 3 tips, do's and don'ts. If you are a speaker, if you're a pro, you know, you need to think about paying versus paid. I know a lot of you think, oh, you know what, I'm going to get paid. Well, guess what? Unless you're Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, you don't get paid to speak. And these guys, they don't really share the stage with many people. So unfortunately, you've got to pay to play. I'm a promoter. I know what it takes to run an event. My event here in LA would have cost me around $400,000 to promote, to produce. It cost me a lot of money. And unfortunately, we didn't make it happen because we couldn't. But I know what it costs to take an event. So if you want to speak, if you want to build your brand, you need to pay to speak, because I said, you won't be able to share the stage with these guys. Because, you know, if you want to speak with Grant Cardone in Vegas, well, you need to be P. Diddy, P. Doddy, or you need to be, I don't know, one of his mates, you know, Magic Johnson and stuff like that. And unless you're, and it's the same with Mind Valley, you know, you need to be one of those people. I saw you speaking fee was $12,000. Barbie, my speaking fee for the expo wasn't $12,000. You can pay me $12,000. No, we have very affordable prices if people want to speak at our expos. Always have been. And because we are people for the people. And, you know, we've had 150 speakers speaking at our events. That's the difference. So if you want to speak in any of these big platforms, you need to be invited. You need to be a guest. You need to obviously have a big, massive profile with hundreds or thousands or millions of people following you. So I would advise you in investing in paying to speak. And there's many platforms even now. And obviously, you know, I recommend that you publish a book. And there's a lot of things that I teach about publishing a book, but I highly recommend that if you can publish a book, it's a good time. Hopefully you've taken advantage to publish a book. And there's lots of advice I give regarding publishing a book. Is it an audio book? Is it an ebook? How do you publish it? What type of book? But I really think it's something you should be doing. But one of the other things I highly recommend that you do is you be authentic. There's a lot of people in the personal development world, and I say this with love, that should read their own book. You know, I've seen people that talk about happiness and they're very miserable people. I've also spoken to a lot of people that talk about success and they haven't been successful. People talk about love, never been in love, they're actually divorced. So there's so many stories like that. So be authentic. I think what the world needs now, and authenticity is something that's very obvious. And you shouldn't be scared or afraid to ask, you know, for people to pay for your services, because at the end of the day, you are like a doctor. You are like someone working in a supermarket. You know, at the end of the day, what you offer is of value. And you, if you're authentic and you come from a place of love, and people appreciate that, you know, they'll buy into it. I also believe in I'm a great believer in serendipity. The people that are here today, you are here for a reason. The people that did not show up here today are not here for a reason. And basically, sometimes opportunities are the size of petrol tankers. You know, they're so big, they're so massive, and sometimes people can't even see them. And that's what I find fascinating. I find a lot of times. So I've been able to understand and read better and better. Why am I connecting with people? Why am I meeting someone? Why is this person recommending me this book? Or why am I watching that TED Talk? I'm connecting the dots. Does that make sense? Any of you great believer in serendipity? I'm a massive, massive believer in serendipity, and I know what it is. And I know the impact it has. But as I said, sometimes I don't think people really appreciate, you know, kind of what serendipity is and in how many ways it comes your way. Charles says, yes. Anyone else believes in serendipity and things happening for a reason? Yes. Yes, I love Daniel with serendipity. Thank you, Bobby. Robert, definitely. Yes. Marlene, definitely. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes. Any more believe in serendipity? Yes. It's quite a few of us, of course. Absolutely. I'm a great believer. But my advice, and I know this might sound odd and some of you might already get this, but I'm saying to you is that open your senses, because a lot of the times there's opportunities that are coming your way and we don't necessarily connect the dots, or we don't take action, you know. And so when I meet someone now, or when someone connects me with someone, or I'm at an event and someone talks to me and then, hey, I want to talk to you, that's the reason I was there. And then that person helps me with something else, you know. So kind of like connect those dots. I really emphasize on that. So look, my program right to the top is limited to 100 people. It starts on the 15th of July. It's a 12-month mentoring coaching program where I help people. Literally, we meet on a monthly basis and we discuss. And I've got all the modules already written down: writing a book, getting published, selling, running events, going global, leadership, building a team, very important, the mindset, the confidence, the goals, the public speaking, the resilience, the marketing and the branding. And that's kind of pretty much it. So these are the 12 modules. Let me go back on that quickly. So the assessment's the most important thing for me, is understanding really where you are, who you are, where you're going, what do you read, do you eat, do you fast, do you meditate, do you exercise, you know, kind of those are the things. So there's a very deep assessment in the program, the foundations, everything you surround yourself. Are you surrounded by negative people? I recommend reads every single month. I recommend books. I look at what I call the holistic approach about everything that you do, and everything that you do, everything that you eat, everyone who you are connected with is who you are. We talk about the mindset and the beliefs. I really work on mindset and beliefs. I drill, you know, the power for you to believe that anything and everything is possible. I am an NLP trainer. I'm an NLP trainer. So I work very much on the mindset, do timelines. I help you build a team. How do you build a team? I got massive experience. I recommend software. I recommend I recommend all sorts of things. You know, what to use, what systems to use, how you can employ people. I can recommend you people. I also open my black book. I also talk about writing a book. I've got massive experience in writing a book. I'm a massive fan of Audible. I will recommend you about what kind of rights to have, what rights you should keep, what you should not do. Is it a hybrid system? Should you self-publish? Should you find a publisher? Talk about copywriting, massive. I bring experts into all the different modules. I've got a massive connections in pretty much every industry. So I bring a lot of people in that can help and can assist. So I've got different trainers coming in about writing a book, about marketing, about selling, about creating revenue streams. So public speaking, again, I bring experts for the public speaking. I'll advise you. We'll review your skills. We'll review how you talk, how you engage, how you communicate. Do you pause, your storytelling, your metaphors, whatever it is that we need to review to make you a better communicator. We talk about selling, talk about social media, what social media platforms to use. We talk about video and podcasts. How do you produce a video? What equipment do you need? How do you put a podcast? How do I get guests to my podcast? How do I stream it on all the platforms? How do I get it on my webpage? Promoting events. I do have quite a bit of experience on that. Talk about joint ventures, talk about online events, live events. We talk about revenue streams, and then obviously how about going global. The great thing about the program, if I may say so myself, is obviously you take advantage of my whole platform. So you get to speak, exhibit at the Best You Expo. You get to publish articles on the Best You magazine. We get you on your program on the Best You Online. So there's a lot of things that I include within it. But as I said, I focus on mindset, confidence, goals, resilience, new trends, accountability, book publishing, speaking, running successful, and building global brand, marketing, branding. There's a private Facebook group where we meet every month. Private Facebook group that we meet every month. You contribute articles to the Best You magazine, which then ranks in Google. Traffic buys it back to you, build credibility. You get access to the Best You Online. I've got a phenomenal library, more than 700 expo talks, 60, 70 video interviews, 60, 70 NLP live talks, and growing and growing and growing. So you get access to the Best You Online. We get to put your course on the Best You Online. You haven't got a course, don't worry. We'll create one for you, and we'll help you and assist you to create content in your program on the Best You Online. That is very exciting. I've got a program that I recorded a couple of years ago called Training Pro, which I teach a lot of the skills I'm going to be teaching on the Rise to the Top. That's also included. That was valued at around $3,000. That got great experts on that program too. You get access to the Best You Legacy clubs globally, worldwide, and that gives you discounts to a lot of the things that we do. You get to speak and exhibit at the Best You Expo, either live or virtually, in any of the ones that we have running. And if you want an NLP training, we can get you certification with Dr. Richard Bandler if you want it. But anyway, if you do have also a vlog, a podcast, you want to interview me, well, I'll be available, obviously. And then if for this is for the 100 people that sign up to the Rise to the Top program, coaching program, I'm going to be publishing a book with them. So you'll have a book anyway at the end of it. So that's 100 authors in it. Now, there's just some questions here. I might be going very fast, but let me just ask if there's any questions here. Barbie, thank you so much. Okay, well, we'll send you the information. What if someone doesn't use Facebook? It will all be recorded, Charles, but it will be on the app as well. So we're developing an app, so it will be connected either on Facebook or the app. So that's the answer for that. I was brought to you by Marissa Peer's work. Oh, thank you, Barbie. That's great. Good to know. Brilliant. Yes, the NLP training is amazing. So anyway, so there's a book there that we publish as well. We help you with the book. You're going to get it published. And obviously there's the skills, the training and the support. But basically it's just a route. It's working on your key skills, the guidance and the objectives to help you train, a 24/7 access to the Best You Online, the Legacy Club, the Best You Magazine, access to me, my network and the content, which has taken me 10, 15 years and the millions of dollars that I've spent and invested in building the brand. And hopefully, potentially, that's what you're going to be, a very successful international speaker. So my approach, I will tell you, is direct, is what I call the holistic, and I do everything with a place of love. So if you want to work with me, I'm just telling you that I will work with you, but I'm going to push it. I'm going to make sure that there's no bullshit, and we really focus on ultimately what you want. And that's, we're going to do that with the assessment. We're going to understand what you want, and we're going to follow you through to make sure that you get there. So the whole training program, literally to recap, is the monthly trainings, the Q&A, which we're valuing at $6,000. I contribute 3 articles to the Best You magazine, which we're valuing at $900. The Best You Online, $159. We create an online program for you. We're charging $2,500 for that. The Training Pro program, we charge $3,300 for that, for the live event. And the Legacy Club membership is $365. Speak or exhibit is minimum $1,200. The NLP practitioner is $4,000. And then the bonus for the Best You book is Learn from the Best is $1,500. So the value of that is $19,000. Now, obviously, it's not going to be that. What it is, it's $7,997 if you wanted the NLP training. And if you didn't want the NLP training, it's $4,997. And the great thing about that is I can do 6 payments of $900. So if you're interested in working with me, if you want to be involved in the Rise to the Top program, And if the only objective is you want to discuss the money, well, it doesn't matter. Fill in the form. I'm going to share the form with you right now. Just fill in the form, and we'll have a free 15-minute consultation to see if it's a good fit for you and if it's a good fit for me. And that's it. This Rise to the Top program will start in July. We've already got around 25 people already on it. And so, yeah, through the vast network that I have, it's going to sell out very quickly. I might have potentially an online version of this as well. But at the moment, this is what I've got. I've got Rise to the Top. And I am here for you guys. So what I wanted to do before I move on, I wanted to pass on to you guys a poll before you guys moved on. I wanted to share with you the second poll. So let me just okay, there's the poll. Let me just share quickly. So please, if you don't mind, can you just answer these questions, which is just simply, what you've experienced. I'm going to be sharing as well the link to my page, so you guys can literally fill in, as I said, without any compromise at all whatsoever. Feel free to just simply engage with me, ask me any questions. If you want just simply a free 15-minute consultation, no questions asked, just to see if you feel that I could be a good fit, my brand could be a good fit. There it is. You've got the link there in the chat. It's Bernardo-Moya.com. That's my webpage. I've got lots of free resources there anyway, but if you go to the webpage, Bernardo-Moya.com, you can just literally apply. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have. I'm going to be here for another 10, 15 minutes. So I want to thank each and every one of you that have been here today. But in the meantime, thank you so much for those of you that are filling in the poll at the moment. Yes, 75% of you said yes. 25% of you learned something. Will you be researching, exploring some of the topics? 100% of you said yes. Would you like to work with me coaching? 60% of us say, 40% said yes. Would you prefer to do online program right to the top? Okay, yes. 60% no. You prefer to do it live. Would you like to partner speaking at the best? Yes. Well, this is the kind of thing. Why would you not say? Why would you just not fill it in and say yes, yes, yes? You'd like to speak. You'd like to exhibit. Of course you would. If I said to you, it's all free. It's all absolutely free. Every single one of you would be saying, "Oh, I'm in." So, unfortunately, the great things or good things aren't free in life. I can tell you that, and I think you all know that. But there's nothing wrong in simply saying yes. You want to get involved. Yes, you would like to partner. Yes, I would like to know more about the Rise to the Top, Bernardo, because at the end of the day, you've always got the opportunity to say no at some point. But if I'm giving you the opportunity to submit your content to the Best You, to speak at the Best You Expo, to put your content on the Best You Online, you should be saying yes, each and every one of you. Will you attend Bernardo's webinar, The 5 Ways? Yes. Okay, you should join me tomorrow, because this is an opportunity where I can explain a little bit more about how I can really help you and how you can take advantage of my brand. Happy you attended. 100% of you said yes. That's very nice of you all. Thank you. So I've shared that there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. You do have the survey there. Please feel free to ask me any questions. I'm still here. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Go and teach an online class, Tony Baldy. Thank you. Yeah, give me a shout. Anyone, any other questions on anything that I've discussed here today? Any subject? I'm still available for you guys. I hope you're joining me tomorrow. I will be sharing, if you just bear with me, I'm going to share here the link for the webinar tomorrow. Actually, you can go here as well, and I'll share how you can. You got the link for the mentorship, and this is the link for the webinars, which is the link for any of the webinars, either recorded. Sorry, I'm just struggling to get the link here. Okay, so here's the link to share the webinars for tomorrow. If you want to join me, here's the chat. It's in the chat. This is how you can register for the webinar tomorrow. Well, thank you, Charles. Charles, so do you advise for the NLP training first? Well, look, I mean, you know, the NLP training is it depends for the package you go for. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive for the NLP training. It is a certified program with Dr. Richard Bandler. It isn't necessarily essential. I mean, because a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing is skills that I'll be teaching you, and we'll be focusing and working on mindset too. I'm always going to say that anyone that has NLP training is of great, phenomenal value. So I would highly recommend that anyone and everyone does NLP training, but it isn't essential. So that's my thought regarding that. Thank you, Charles. Well, if you have completed the form, if you have or want to find out more about how we can partner, how we can work together, fill in that form. There's lots of opportunities with the Best You TV, with the Best You Expos, with the Best You Online, for us to be able to work and partner together. If you're interested in finding out more, taking advantage of my brand and taking advantage of my expertise, my experience as an NLP trainer, as an entrepreneur, and the founder of the Best You, well, again, fill in the form, and I'll love to discuss that further. So unless you have any further questions, I'm going to end this poll here now. I want to thank you all that have been here today. I want to thank you all that have submitted the forms. I want to thank all of you that would say you would love to work with me. I want to thank every single one of you that have been here today. And please reach out. Charles, you've already applied for the NLP training in October. Well done. Well, that's great. And if you've spoken to someone in my team, I don't know who you've spoken to, make sure that you reach out to them and tell them that you are right to the top. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Everyone, stay safe.